Hi guys, welcome to Back to Basics, episode 4, with me, Sims, Slinky, and AZ. Quite a quiet one tonight. I say quiet one. We haven't got a great deal of stuff to talk about. We've got 4 main things really. EGL9 documentary by Mr. Human himself, the one and only. We'll leave that to Az to talk about that one. The Halo Bulletin, which is huge this week. And this is why we don't have a great deal of stuff to talk about because of the pure size of it and so much going on. That kind of falls into the next one, which is going to be the weapons tuning thing. Like I say, it's going to be short and sweet. There's only 4 things to talk about, but the big things. So the weapon tuning, the Halo Bulletin is going to be a big one, as we know. Is it June or July 3rd? I think it's June 3rd, isn't it? June 3rd. We've got the big patch coming with the weapons, and I think it's going to change, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we'll get on to that. And then last but not least, just 2 or 3 hours ago, we had the Xbox, the new one, released. We're going to talk a little bit about it, but at the end of the day, this is primarily about Halo. We want to keep it about Halo. It's a Halo show. Obviously, the Xbox does have a big impact on that one, but we don't want to stray too far from it. Yeah, and we're also going to have a quick chat about the next Halo game. Obviously, not announced, but we're just going to have a little discussion amongst ourselves, really. Okay, so straight on to the EGL9 Halo documentary by Mr. Human. And I'm going to pass this one over to Mr. A to the Z to start off on this one.
Baby!
Go, boy!
You put me on the spot, a lot of pressure.
I know.
Basically, everyone should know Human by now. He's done every single, he's been doing them since before London at Blackpool, and every single one of them are amazing. He puts a lot of effort into it. Even he's been quite ill, especially last event. He was hospitalized, and as soon as he came out, he's working his ass off. And people should know by now that he's pretty unsung in the sense of without Human, there's not a lot of people to do montages, especially not event ones. And obviously, this one being more of a documentary where he had added interviews, and there's a lot of work that he's done that just hasn't made it into the montage, and just makes you appreciate the amount of time and effort people put into things like this for the community. He doesn't get paid to do it. He does it off his own back. So I think we should have a little moment, little appreciation moment.
Yeah, it's got to be said, Human has done a lot, especially in the form of eventages. If you think of an actual full-on documentary, this maybe isn't for you. Human came to me and said, what should I call this, guys? Can we news post this? I was like, yes, absolutely, you can news post it. Why don't you call it something like the EGL9 Halo documentary? So we just kind of rolled with that. It's not a full-on documentary. It's almost more like an extended event montage. So it's just a bit more footage, a bit more interviews, but it's really, really good. Make sure you go check it out.
I definitely think he's, with things like this, and past and previous things, definitely think Human, for me, is falling into the unsung heroes bracket, along with Mr. Sokro and Kara, Jules, people like that. He's definitely, you just see him sat around with his camcorder and his mic and his things like that, doing interviews, taking photos, doing video camcording. He's, for me, he definitely falls into the unsung hero, the hero bracket. And, yeah, just a little bit of from us guys here, and hopefully you guys out there, just a little bit of appreciation from us and from the community for the stuff that you do, Human. It's a great montage, so well done, homeboy.
Most importantly, make sure you go to his channel. It's Human Top 1, and make sure you give everything a like. It really helps him out a lot. And I'm also proud to announce that at the upcoming Insomnia events, as well as the EGL events, we'll be stepping up our content coverage. We'll be providing more interviews for the forums, which will hopefully be uploaded on the day that we actually do them. So, yeah, look forward to those.
Yeah, you better.
Good job, Human. Big good job.
Good job.
Any more on that one? Or is that the short and sweet one overdone? Is it into the
sweet?
Good.
Is it the long ass ones now that we move into?
Yeah.
So we're gonna go. You've probably seen a bit of a theme going on now. When we jump to the Halo Bulletin as such, we pass to the man Slinky, Mr. Harry.
Yes.
We generally pass it to him. Slinky's doing quite a lot of research in the background. He always reads the Halo Bulletins, things like that, and gives you the updates. I don't know whether we want to, between us, we want to roll the Halo Bulletin and the weapon tuning into one. I mean, we'll do them in 2 separate parts, but they do kind of flow with one another, don't they, essentially? So we'll just go straight into the Halo Bulletin. As man.
Straight off the bat, really, there was only two things that really sort of stood out for me at this sort of Halo Bulletin. It came out 6 days ago on the day of this recording, so it came out on the 15th, which meant we didn't really get a whole lot of information because they were just sort of gearing up for their weapon tuning event, their live stream that they did at the weekend. The two main things, and I know AZ has done a little bit more reading into this bulletin, the main two things that came from me is that with the weapon tuning dropping on June the 3rd, the Mantis and Warthog chain gun, both the damage are increased to 35%, or increased by 35%. Any of you big team battle players or Dominion players out there will know that the Mantis and the Warthog felt really, really underpowered. And one of the things that 343 did, not the last tile update which brought the Red X, but the one before that that brought the initial X's, is they sort of gave the Warthog a little bit of a buff. Beforehand, friendly fire from plasma pistol charges, the EMP blast would prevent the Warthog being used, even if it was fired on by a friend. So it kind of made the Warthog a little bit underpowered. They buffed that before, and now they're increasing the Warthog's chain gun damage by 35%, which is a huge boost. I'm sure all of us will agree that that was needed. And secondly, this Monday, the Forge Island playlist was released, featuring community maps such as Onyx from the free DLC. So that's a really, really cool playlist. Those were the two that really stood out for me, the Mantis and Warthog chain gun, as well as the Forge Island playlist. I'm going to throw this over to AZ because he's done a little bit more reading into this. So go ahead, AZ.
Thank you very much. Well, if you read through the bulletin, you'll find out that Halo 4 won Game of the Year by GeekWire. They had a big award show. And it's kind of a, I don't know, I kind of saw the catch-22. I spoke to Harry about this, is that they obviously, like, game developers do win awards. And it's, I mean, I don't know about everyone, the rest of us, but I don't feel as if Halo 4 is that good of a game to be winning lots of awards, especially for Game of the Year. And a little worrying thought that I had is that maybe if developers see they're winning awards, maybe they'll not care as much about, like, oh, Halo 5, we'll just make it like Halo 4 because we've done all right. Because I personally feel like Halo 4 was very, like, unfinished when it came out. Don't know about.
There's a flip side to that coin, though, isn't there? You could say, I agree with that, and you could say they're in awards, and so they're not going to do anything else. But then again, us trying to build a bigger community, I suppose it does look good for the Halo franchise overall, getting awards.
For me, if you're talking about 343 specifically and the next Halo game, I don't think they will rest on their laurels with these awards. They know that they rushed Halo out because they wanted to try and get it out before Call of Duty, as we all know, and it was, it was a rushed game. I think we're talking about 343 here. The amount of, well, not sort of feedback they've gotten from the community, how Halo needs to improve. They need to listen to that. They know they've listened to that, and they know they need to implement the changes that some of the people are saying. They can't rest on their laurels trying to get all of these awards. And we know, obviously, with the population numbers of Halo 4, that Halo 4 hasn't exactly been a blockbuster game. So I almost feel as if, unfortunate to say, that sort of award was awarded on the basis that it's called Halo, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So because it's Halo, it doesn't deserve, but it almost warrants an awards there. So as
if it's living off of its old titles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think 343, they can't be happy with their game. They can't be happy with the population numbers that they're bringing in, and part of that, fair to say, is to do with the rise of Call of Duty and the timescale in which they released it. Obviously, they had to rush it out. They had to rush the game to get it out before Call of Duty. If I was 343, I would not rush into the next game. I would put all side projects aside, excuse me, and I would just take as long as needed to get this game out. I wouldn't rush it out. Just get it perfect, get it good again.
I suppose the longer it takes, the more anticipation, the more people will buy it. Do you not ultimately think? I mean, for me, still, it's kind of the whole MLG thing that kind of screwed it over and lost us all the people. Do you still not think it lies with that? The fault mainly lies with that.
Part of it would, but not all of it. There's a lot that went wrong well before MLG realized it was a sinking ship. So
yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about what the next Halo game needs to do to be successful later on. So stay tuned.
And the only other two things to talk about the bulletin is that a good thing is that Halo itself, like the industry's been getting Bravo and all that, and I've actually been listening to a lot of people in the Forge Hub community. A couple of people you might not know. Flying Shoe is ILR instead of IRL. He's one of the people. He's through a few maps in there, and also Salot is through a couple of maps in. It's just interesting that they're actually listening to people that are actually making maps for the community, and they're going into the playlists. And so another nice addition is that BTB now has Slayer Pro, which it never had before. It's now been included in rotation, and the veto system will pull it up more often, which again is nice. That's going to be pushed towards the more. It's not highly competitive because it is still big team battle. I'm not talking MLG or tournament level, but it's good that they're kind of pushing that more. They're trying to get everyone in the same direction, whereas like Throwdown's like one way and BTB is completely the opposite. So that's the two other things from the bulletin.
Out of all this, what screams massive amounts to me though, how insanely OP is that Mantis going to be? I love it. I just love walking around. I mean,
the thing is, though,
people.
You think of previous Halos, and you think of the Halo 3 Warthog, especially Gorse Warthog.
Jesus Christ, horse that thing.
Yeah, they need to be almost overpowered. They need to be, because they are pretty much, for big team battle enthusiasts, they are power weapons. So they need to do some kind of damage. I definitely thought the Mantis, and especially the Warthog chain gun, was definitely underpowered. So that's a welcome addition.
The best part about the Mantis is that RB, when you put in the Fulton thing.
The crush thing.
Oh, man. I remember I was playing with Creepsy when he realised he could do that, and he just stamped on top of my head, and I could not stop laughing for the next 5 minutes because I honestly I had no idea that the Mantis
Once
could
you
do
actually do it though, you can actually teabag with the Mantis. That's the best thing about it.
That's the worst. Why is this vehicle in the game?
Huge machine, bouncing up and down. Go on, son.
Yeah, that's about it for the Halo Bulletin, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a nice one. I'm sure there's going to be a big one eventually. Essentially, kind of like patch notes for a game. Once we get June 3rd, I think that's going to be probably one of the most full content-wise Halo bulletins that we see this side of this year, because it'll have all the exact percentage of things like that. That's one that I am sorely looking forward to.
It'll have the nitty-gritty of the update as well, which is really what I'm looking forward to getting into.
Yeah. Right. Okay, then. That kind of, I suppose, on the same lines out with weapon tuning, things like that, to the weapon tuning live stream, which was on Twitch, 343's Industries. They invited a couple of people down, a couple of Ninja, Neighbor, Green Skull, Ghosty Armor, Crazy by Default, and Tashi. There was... I unfortunately didn't. I have to own up and say I didn't get a chance to watch it, and it's still on my list of things to do. But I know a couple of men who did.
Yes, I'll sort of take the baton with this, I guess. Roll with it at the start. I'm going to be trying to sort of focus on Ninja's trip to 343, as we all know. Ninja, EGL5 champion, EGL9 champion. He's a pretty notorious streamer, isn't he? I mean, I'm pretty sure we've all at least watched him stream once. Yeah. He obviously got invited down to 343 Industries headquarters in Seattle, on the west coast, northwest of America. And he basically did, as soon as he came back, he uploaded a video to his YouTube. In case you guys didn't know, his YouTube is Ninja's Hyper. He uploaded a recap video, and some of the most interesting things that came out of that were some of the things I didn't know is that the BR firing rate has been increased really, really slightly. Apparently, no one will even notice it, but it just sort of ups that kill time a very tiny bit, and it hopefully make the game slightly more balanced. As we covered before, the carbine now takes 7 shots to kill instead of 8. I watched the live stream video where Ninja was using the light rifle, and when he was zooming in, the firing rate increased so much. It was like watching a BR full pelt. It was absolutely ridiculous, and if anything, it was overpowered. So Ninja told them to tone down the light rifle firing rate slightly. So that's going to be decreased from what you saw in that weapon tuning live stream, if anyone got to see it. And also, as we said before, the DMR red reticle range was reduced. In all honesty, from the recap video, I got the idea that well, I got sort of the feeling that Ninja sort of ranked these 4 primary rifles in this sort of order. Number 1, he loved a BR. As you know, he came over and competed in the 4-shot settings that we were using at EGL9. So it's a well-known fact that he likes the 4-shot BR. Second, surprisingly, the carbine. This is, again, I wouldn't take this as gospel, you know. This is sort of the indication that I got from his video, and he seemed to really like the carbine. Apparently, it feels a lot better. It feels a lot smoother. Third is obviously the light rifle because of the firing rate. I don't know if that will change. You know, he might prefer the light rifle at the weapon tuning as opposed to what drops on June the 3rd, and then fourth rounds it up as DMR. He also updated us that 343 will be making the competitive skill rank come into effect more profoundly in playlists. In case you guys didn't know, before the CSR would try and match you up with your perfect match, if you will, for 15 to 30 seconds during each search. And this is basically because, you know, people don't like waiting around for games. You know, no one wants to sit in a lobby. So if it couldn't find the sort of the perfect match sort of between 5 levels either way, they'd just match you up with any level they'd find in the playlist. Now that's been upped to a minute to try and find your perfect match in the playlist. Obviously that is good because that means in any playlist you search in, you're going to try and find people around your skill rank. Obviously a lot faster. And also Ninja told 343 for the next Halo game, we'll come on to that a little bit more a bit later on. He told 343 to do for the next Halo game, profoundly he said, add descoping and have a visible ranking system off launch. So as we said before, you know, 343 need to listen to the feedback, and they're getting some pretty good feedback straight from the source from Ninja there. So yeah, that's pretty much all Ninja had to say on it. But in all honesty, it sounds good. I really can't wait to see how the actual weapon balancing plays on June 3rd.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to say something?
By the way.
I was going to say, like, what a lot of people need to understand is that I didn't realize it myself until I read through it, is that the weapon tuning isn't as simple as going in, changing it, and coming back out. There's a lot of things to do with audio being one of them, the rate of fire, and the reloading speed. And then, you know, as Harry's mentioned before we even came on, like, this has to be implemented into Spartan Ops, campaign. Every single thing needs to be coded and tweaked. And it's, you know, we should be grateful as, you know, people who have bought the game and members of the community that they're actually taking the time out to do it. It's not an easy thing. That's why it's taken weeks to do. And, you know, the good thing is that they've brought all these people, obviously Ninja being like, probably our view, maybe the best person to go in terms of representation. But also there was Green Skull who went, and I kind of questioned why he was there. But there's more of he brings a lot more of the kind of everyone else. Like, we are more community, we're more competitive minded, but he's the more casual. He plays all our playlists, he plays Infection, and I know we all do, but he glorifies it, and he has a lot of say, and he's also recruited by IGN. Is that true, Harry?
That's true, yes.
And he's obviously was a major focus point, and he's done a lot of videos, he's been getting tweeted out, uploaded, and that's you know, that's good. And anything, I mean, that's what we need. We need more people being more aware that the game is taking its time out to make our game better. And also the maps they kind of used. Obviously, Bravo was one of the main people that was involved in the stream, as well as Diesel. And but they were using maps that weren't just like throwdown only. These are maps that are being used in other playlists, so that everyone's getting the benefit of these weapons. I mean, even assault rifle was used, for God's sake, you know. And it's everyone's being put together, and it's something that, like I said before, we were talking about the Bulletin, that Bravo's kind of, well, I'm not saying it's just Bravo, but since he's came, everything's getting a bit more together rather than like spread apart. So.
Still need to cross bridges as far as I'm concerned with the EU and the US. There's still a barrier there that needs to be broken. I think Ninja definitely helped it a lot, especially with the EGL stream, with the viewers that he brought in, and he saw, you know, at the end of the day, we're seeing day after day on Twitter pros saying 4SK settings, now scrimming 4SK. It's like, we've been doing this for time, boys. You're just jumping on a bandwagon. You know what I mean? It's finally something where they're jumping on a bandwagon that we've done for years. And I'm pretty... Please correct me if I am wrong here, because I might be, but I'm pretty sure they're using our style of 4-shot settings.
They're using the exact same settings under a different name because they don't want to be... Well, obviously I'm not saying this, but it's presumed, they might not be wanting to associate with, well, not associate, but you know what I mean. They don't want to be seen to be following European settings, even though we've sort of pioneered these settings since what? December
Was
last
it that
year.
Actually, it wasn't Ramirez, was it? A
No,
big shout out to Ramirez. Is it Amalzi?
It was Raggy and
Amalzi. Big shout out to you boys for doing that. I was thinking to myself the other day. I don't know why. I was thinking. I'm sure I knew it was somebody else, but it would Amalzi and Waggy, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well.
Big shout.
Yeah, there are settings. There are. The EU's finally something jumping on the bandwagon. But yeah, there's still definitely walls and boundaries that need to be broken as far as the old conflicts of the US and the EU. I personally love watching the US stuff, but
one of the sorry to cut you off there, Sim. One of the main things that sort of came from the weapon tuning, and it's really, really important that sort of diverses from our settings that we're using right now to the weapon balancing, the actual thing that will be implemented on June the 3rd, is that there is no two-shot beatdown. In our settings, we have you shoot someone twice with a BR. If all the shots hit, you beat them down, they die. If you shoot someone twice in the weapon balancing that's coming on June the 3rd, they will not die, so it'll still be a 3-shot beatdown. It just means that you kill someone in 4 shots.
Do you prefer that?
No.
Really?
Faster kill time up close is always best. I mean, if you shoot someone twice and you beat them down, that's what, maybe half a second, maybe a second.
Yeah, it's so quick.
It's so quick and it's so good. It promotes fast-paced gameplay. Whereas you add in a 3-shot, you got to shoot that extra shot, man. I mean, surely it's going to take longer, and it just sort of almost slows the game down that little bit. But if it means faster kill times, then obviously we're going to prefer things that are going to be faster to things that are going to slow the game down.
Because if you think about it, like in Halo 3, like if you're on LAN or if you're a host, if you shot someone twice and beat them down, the time they turn around, you've already like hit the second shot and beat them down. That's them toast. And then if it's 3-shot, it's like 1, 2. By the time you've been hit more than once, you spin around. And if that guy is coming towards you, you're going to at least get a melee off. So it changes a lot.
But does it not promote for... I agree with you completely, Slinky, on the fact of fast gameplay.
Yeah.
Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, does that not promote for more BR battles, do you think?
Yeah, maybe. But you've got to think about the metagame that has always been with Halo. It's always like...
Beatdown.
It's beatdowns, grenades, weapons. And you've got to balance those things. And I mean, two shots and a beatdown, that's great. One nade and a beatdown, that's great. 1 shot and 1 nade, that's great. But if you throw in 3 shots and a beatdown, it just sort of throws the metagame off that little bit. And I think I much prefer just a 2-shot beatdown, to be honest.
If it's 2 shots and a beatdown, then to kill somebody, is it still going to be 2 beatdown? Just if you beat someone down twice, are they still going to die then?
Oh yeah. You'll take their shields down.
Instantly, and then it's off. Yeah,
on the weapon balancing that's coming June 3rd, we'll just call it weapon balancing for now because I can't be bothered to say June 3rd anymore. I think we all know when it's coming.
When's it coming out?
I knew you were going to say that.
June 3rd, I think. Yeah. If you beat someone down, it'll pop their shields, and you beat them down again, and they die. It just means. I just prefer a 2-shot.
There's so much. You're right when you say there's so much to tune in. Everything goes along with it when tuning stuff. There's so much to tune. You can't just say, that's going to be 4 shots now. Enjoy.
It's not as simple as that. But I really think they should have thought of the metagame. If they're speeding up the BR battles, surely they need to speed up everything else. Not necessarily grenades, but if you shoot someone twice and beat them down with these damage settings, they got to drop, man. They got to drop.
Start using ARs.
Easy. See, why isn't this guy in charge of settings?
I know. This shotgun beatdown. It's all about boys.
Genius.
Any more on that, Harry? Any more you want to preach, boy?
One thing I will say that is a real positive that's coming from this weapon balancing, coming June 3rd, is that it's making the game so much more skill based. Everything you see. Faster kill times, lowered auto aim. That's all you see. That means lower aim assist. The person with a better aim with their actual joystick is going to win the battle. even with assault rifles, they're balancing the assault rifle so that the auto aim is reduced, which means you can't just let go of the thumbstick and just hold the trigger like, "Wait, look, I'm getting a kill." It's a lot more skill based, and it's making the game a lot faster paced, which is where it needs to be.
Thing is, I've
Well
always
said.
said that from day one, though. It's Halo 4, especially when you watch people like Chalky and things like that. They don't do a great deal of strafing and strafing around. You know, there's not a great deal of movement. Halo 4 is specifically not aimed and engineered, but the people with the better shot are the top players. Your top players are the ones with that can hit the shots and land the shots. That's what Halo is all around. And all right, fair enough. You can run around like a headless chicken, bob up and down like Mr. Jules loves his little bopping and weaving. You know, but it is the shot, and the people with these good aims are going to come off on top of these settings big time. You know, that they're really going to come into not that they're already there, but it really is going to excel their performance and their slaying power in games. And I don't know. I think even maybe people like myself, maybe that played a lower sensitivity, it might, you know, I mean, I'm shit. These days I played it over there and I'm crap. But
Hello, we talking here?
but
It's like 1 cent in it, Sims.
it used to be, but it's 2 now. I used to work for 2, so we're there now.
It's progress.
I know it's crap in it. But yeah, I think it's definitely the people who have a solid shot. It's gonna. I think you will see a slight change in how people play, but there will definitely be people who are really good just become even better because of their shot and because of this setting.
And the thing with this auto aim is that also it creates a bit more of a skill gap. I mean, you look at Halo 4, it's not really, you know, the game that you would define, you know, it has a skill gap. There isn't the biggest skill gap. But with this auto aim being reduced on all these weapons, although, you know, they're only really going to be used in Infinity Slayer and matchmaking and stuff, it still means that the better get better, and those that have been relying on the auto aim just sort of drop off a little bit, and it becomes a bit more of a challenge for them. And that's kind of what's missing in Halo 4. It's not challenging at all. It's easy. Let's be honest, the game is easy.
Yeah.
Even for casuals, it's pretty much built. You point and shoot, as simple as that.
Yeah.
So this weapon balancing will give them a bit more of a challenge, and it'll make the game enjoyable again. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
I think especially when the auto aim's concerned, I'm sure we've all experienced it, but it does happen quite a lot more on this game than the other one, where you'll be looking at shooting somebody, and somebody will run behind them, and you're about to get your 4th shot, and
Yes.
your PR just go, whip. It's like,
I tell you what, the weapon that is predominantly that's happened to with me is the sticky det. The sticky detonator has the worst auto aim. It just has a mind of its own. If it's within that red reticle range, it'll literally just go off to Mars. It's like, where? It's just gone. Right? It just goes a completely different direction. And that sort of throws the game off a bit. I don't understand why there's any assist on a sticky detonator at all. It's already an explosive weapon. It's already a very powerful weapon. Why do you need the auto aim?
Skill to you. There should be no auto aim on it. It should take pure skill to aim it where you want it.
The same with the rockets as well. There's still a little bit of auto aim on the rockets. Why do we still have that? It's a one hit kill.
And see in Halo 2 when they had like you held RT with the rockets and it just chased things.
Yes.
That's the best thing, man. People
Now it's like the sticky det does that for you. You just shoot it and it's off chasing everything in sight. Like,
it's so annoying. Honestly, you just you try to 4-shot somebody. You're going in for your 4th shot and somebody just like, wait, what? I'm dead. Thanks for that. Appreciated.
Anyway.
Right, yeah. Moving off from a random tangent that we were on, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Enjoy that. That was good.
Right. Okay then. So, are we done with the weapon tunings? Are you all happy with them, lads? Are we good? Do you think the community is happy with the Do they know what date's coming, Harry?
June the 3rd.
3rd. Right
Mark
down.
your calendar.
I'm hoping it's going to be like when Ranks came out. The Twitter, Facebook, everything was alive with ranks, time to play. I'm hoping that this not only is, you know, patch time to play, but it's as a community. Everyone comes together and everyone comes back. I want to see a lot of people back in the game. We need the rebirth of Halo 4. Well, whether it's the rebirth or the actual birth of it. I don't know. You know, it's
the birth of Halo.
the fixed Halo 4, shall we say, for now. Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. Let's enjoy them. Let's enjoy them when they come. So, as I was saying before, I think it was 3.5 hours ago now, we had the Xbox. The new Xbox came out. Now, we don't want to spend too much time on this. After this, we want to talk about. I don't know. Do we really need to talk about the next Halo game? We spoke about it enough. But
Oh, so much more to say. Don't you worry about that.
yeah. Oh, I thought
It's
you
all
might.
up here.
You and your little notes. So we are a Halo-based stream video, and we are a Halo-based. We want to keep this to Halo as much as possible, but the Xbox obviously has a big influence and a big impact on us because that's what we play it on. Yeah, new Xbox release, guys. First thoughts, top of your head. First thoughts. Adam.
It looks like an old VHS player. I swear to God, right? I tweeted it out. I posted it on the forum. It looks proper old school. Like it's not even curved or anything. And I mean that's cool, but I don't know. It just didn't look that much to look at. The controller, apart from the thumbsticks, looked really, really like hot. Like they looked really, really good. But the controller itself, just I don't know. It looked like the older Xbox controllers, a bit bigger, a bit chunkier. I know PlayStation's always a tiny ones, like those sleek and slender. But from the actual event, like I watched it, even though my stream kept cutting out, and there wasn't a lot of gameplay. There's a lot of stuff shown that I don't really care about. Like that's just as more like I have a console to play games. I don't want to check some NFL player and how well he's doing in some fantasy team. I mean, that's cool if you're into that, but I don't care. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the people who watched it, who are more aimed at being actual gamers, don't really care as much. Yeah.
For me, the actual thing that they did, the little event that they streamed on Xbox.com and all around the world, it was more to me, with E3 coming in the next couple of months, it was more to me sort of an actual entertainment showcase, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it was more about, what the new Xbox can do to the non-gamer. So hopefully at E3 we get a better look at some of the games and, hopefully it will bring something a bit more meaty.
You not think the pads look a little bit like it? Just a little bit reminiscent. They look like the a cross between the new style with the S pad on the original Xbox, and they've got a little distinct look of those Mad Catz pads, don't you think? The ones that the Bucks use, Western Wolves.
The MLG one.
Yeah, the MLG controller. They look slightly like it.
They kind of remind me of. Has anyone seen some of the Razer Xbox controllers? That
yes.
Reminded me of that. Actually.
Is it the Onza?
Yes, it reminded me just like that.
Oh well, I like thumbsticks myself. I like quite a grip pad. Have we lost sound? Or have you just gone quiet?
Well,
I've just gone quiet.
I was going to make a comment that Sims likes his thumbsticks like he likes his women, but I think I'll leave that for another time because it's kind of awkward.
Not sure if confused or.
I was going to say. Yeah.
Anyway, so swiftly moving on off that one. Sorry, but yeah, you're looking forward to it then. Is there any other comments? There's not really we can say because we don't really know a great deal as much, do we? It's just a quick, like you say, we're a bit of a demo. Here's your Xbox. It's a bit of a screw you to PS3 because we're bringing something out E3.
I think it's the best way for E3, yeah, because as Harry said, it's like a hardware thing that's showing it off. So.
Hello, look, I have a box. There you go.
It's all black and shiny.
You know what's really worrying when Call of Duty was the best thing about it?
Oh God.
I was just like,
yeah.
It was quite good, but we'll see shit anyway.
Yeah.
So, speaking of next generation, then we'll call it Halo 5 for now. It's a hard question to ask you this one, but we're going to throw it out there anyway. Halo 5. Success or failure off the back of Halo 4? If 343 made it.
Better strap your seatbelts on. I got a bit of a rant to go on here, so
crack on.
Might as well get comfortable. This question was posed to me by Adversary. That's why we're sort of talking about it now. He posted it in the Skype chat. Do you think it will be a success? And I'm going to say yes, but it needs some of these things. It needs a public beta. Halo 4 did not have that, and look at how it was released. It looked really nice, but so many flaws in the actual gameplay that could have been resolved, that could have been fixed, could have been avoided by a public beta, because you get so much feedback from an actual beta. So that's one of the things I say it needs. It also needs an in-game visible ranking system, your standard 1 to 50. I'm not talking a CSR where you have to log into your phone or go on a computer to look at your rank. I want to be able to see the rank on my screen. I shouldn't have to go on my computer to check my rank. It's as simple as that. It needs 4v4 arena style maps, and it needs lots of them. We need choice. We need some nice looking arena style maps that are suitable for 4v4. Halo 4 does not have that. We ship with Adrift, we no longer use. Abandon, we no longer use. We use Haven. We had Relay, but that's gone. We don't use that anymore. I'm sure I'm missing one out. Solace, don't use that anymore. I
don't see what the problem was with Solace. A lot of people didn't like it because it was a little bit too open, but I actually thought it worked quite well on Flag myself.
It was good, but it wasn't symmetrical, and I think that's where a lot of people had their issues. So, yeah. There is a lot of people that are nitpicking, but yeah, I think Solace worked quite well on Slayer myself, but not really a Flag kind of guy. But anyway, it needs the return of ranked and social playlists. Remember on Halo 3, you would hop on and you'd go into you'd see ranked playlists. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I have to try a little bit harder on these. And then you're like, oh yeah, social players. Even in Halo 2 as well, I could just play team training for all day. I could play it all day because it was so good and it was just so chilled back. And then if I wanted to play something a bit more competitive, I could play Double Team. I could play Team Slayer, something where ranks are on the line. So I need to know what's going on there. And the last of the 5 needs, I'd say it needs a spectator mode. I've kind of been sort of trying to convince myself that it doesn't, but it does. For esports events such as AGL and EGL and all these things that are popping up all around the world, it'd make it so much easier if you need one device where you can just hop into the game like they do on Call of Duty, look at all 4 point of views, all 4 from each team, so that's 8 point of views in total. You can fly around the map. Imagine a live theatre system, basically, where you can fly around the map, you can see what's going on, you can use the controller, you can fly up and have an overview of the map, see what each team is doing. How amazing would that be?
It would, wouldn't it? It'd be really good.
Going back onto the maps. Well, actually, no, I won't. Actually, I will in a minute. The game must become more competitive. It needs to become more 4v4 based. If you look at Halo 4, all of the playlists that are 5v5 and 6v6, such as Dominion and Capture the Flag, they're terrible. They're absolutely awful. And I know that they're trying to cater towards the maps that were shipped with the game. But if you ship 4v4 maps, that's a problem avoided. You don't have to put 5v5, 6v6 on some of these maps. So yeah, it needs to become a lot more 4v4 based, like in previous Halos. Because if you think of Halo 2, that's what made me fall in love with Halos. That it was straight up 4v4, 2v2, or 8v8. There was nothing in between other than multi-team, which was a bit of a laugh. I didn't really play that much anyway. So if they going back onto maps here, if they ship 15 maps on the disc, say we have 6 for 4v4, that's a generous amount. We can use 6 maps, we can get a few game tops on them. And then ship 6 for 8v8, that makes the total up to 12, unless my maths is very, very poor. So 6 for 4v4, 6 for 8v8, that will keep the big team community and the big team players, that will make them happy. And then three maps, a generous 3 maps for 2v2 and 1v1, because let's face it, so some of the 4v4 maps we can use, such as Haven, that's used in 4v4 and 2v2, is perfectly fine. So, and as Adam, you just said, Forge as well, ship a really good Forge mode, we can make our own maps on top of all these maps that they're giving us. So that eliminates 5v5 and 6v6 playlists. It becomes a 4v4 or 8v8 or 2v2 or FFA style game. Halo 5 would be perfect then. And then coming back onto these maps, on these big team maps, make them fun and interactive. And can you remember, Sims, you will love this, on Zanzibar and Halo 2, you could drive the Warthog, you could go around to the side, and you'd open the gate, and then you'd get back in the Warthog, and you'd go in.
It was brilliant, wasn't it? Just going in. Honestly, when thinking about stuff like this, it really makes you reminisce, and it really does just think, what the hell happened? Because when you just honestly you look back at Zanzibar, I can just picture myself up in the little tower where the shotgun. I think there were the shotgun below it. I can't remember off the top of my head now. You go down, you press the button, you lower the bridge. You'd sometimes have someone sat in the middle with a sword waiting. You'd take them out. You'd run in. You'd all be sat above your little bases. You might even try and get super jump up onto the top of roof. You could do so much. You could run around the side. You'd have the stone. Somebody be there, get in from the top, run down. They were just honestly, it was so intrepid. There was so much on that map. You had 4 entrances at the bottom, 1, 2, 3 at the top. Well, kind of the side was the same one, wasn't it? At the side, yeah. 2 entrances at the top, a bridge, 2 doors, a main door that you could lower the door and get the Warthog through all the ghosts. You could just sit with the ghosts, just going back and forth, mowing people down. Get the flag out or get the bomb in. It was just great. Just being crouched in the corner in those little doorways. It's like, isn't dead yet? Bang! And you're dead as well. Okay, can we go in yet? I mean, it was fun. Halo was fun. It was days where you could scrim, but you could go online. You could play matchmaking and enjoy it. There's long gone are the days where, well, it is at the moment anyway, where you go into matchmaking and you think, I'm really enjoying myself at this moment in time. Unless on a Sunday morning when I get up and I play with one of my mates, Tom, we jump into a big team battle and we just get Warthogs and piss about and prat around. You know what I mean? It's long gone are the days. I mean, even I know it was just matchmaking, but it was still competitive. If we didn't arm a bomb and the next team armed a bomb, you go into game 3, you'd be like, shit, yeah. Pull your fingers out, boys. We've got to win this. And it's like, honestly, it was just so competitive.
As well, for Zanzibar in particular, that could be used as a 4v4 and an AV8 map. That could be used in a big team. I mean, maybe someone say it's a little bit too small, but who cares? There's always action going on in those maps. And on Halo 4, we've got maps like Longbow. Has anyone played Longbow? It's in Dominion quite a lot, which is a 6v6 playlist, but it's also in big team battle. Yeah. And there's essentially 3 bases, two on each side, and then there's one on sort of a higher ground, and it's so big. It's huge. Honestly, it feels like a Battlefield 3 map. Honestly, I struggle to find people at times. I think on Zanzibar, you were always in the action. You were always just around the corner from a bit of action. And also, one of the things I was going to mention as well with the interactive maps was, anyone remember on Headlong where they had those 2 floating bridges, and you could get the Banshee, and you could, if someone was walking along the bridge, you could drive fly into like the bridge and make it wobble, and they'll fall off and stuff. Yeah, that's what needs to come back to Halo, man. Stuff like that to make it more interactive.
Back fun. More fun. I mean, does this beg the question of then Halo 2.2? I don't know, 2.1. For Halo 5, does that? I mean, I think it's safe to say that it's going to be a 3-4-3 game, isn't it? Because you're working on, what's it called? It's not Infinity, is it? Destiny. I keep saying Infinity for some reason. They're going to be concentrating on that, and I've been reading a lot of stuff on that, and that for me is going to be kind of like me as a Warcraft player playing an MMO. It seems like they're trying to go down the way of making an MMO first-person shooter, and that is such an. I mean, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not going to really talk about it, but that is such an idea that if they're going to make that work, they're going to have to put all their time, effort, and that is going to be a pain in the ass to run. But if they nail that, they'll probably make one of the best games the Xbox has ever seen. And it's going to be on PS3 as well, isn't it? So it's not going to be limited. It's going to be one of the. If they get that right, that could be the biggest first-person shooter game for fun, not competitive reasons, that has ever hit. So it's safe to say it will be a 3-4-3 game, I think. But they just need to go back to basics.
Back to basics.
You know what I mean? But they do. I know it's stupid, but it's stupid. You got me worked up now talking about Halo 2. It's really annoying.
It's quality, isn't it?
It's because it was such a. But it is basic, isn't it? It is so Simple.
I had something
4v4
so
maps,
good.
BR
Yeah.
fights, battles, competition, kill the enemy team, win the game.
Exactly, and
Have
a few of the things as well I was going to mention, just lastly on my little brief rant, is bring back games titles like Assault and King of the Hill and make King of the Hill and Oddball functional again. Because if you remember Assault, coming back to the Zanzibar example, you could grab the bomb. It was always 1-1, wasn't it? And you could grab the bomb, get in the warthog. You'd have your little tactics like, yeah, you go in, you jump out the turret, run open the gate, we'll drive in and arm the bomb. You know, it's stuff like that makes it so much fun.
I always remember just on Zanzibar one game, and I got in the passenger seat with the bomb. A mate drove round, and as you go past where the sniper was on the platform, somebody run into it, and as he run past, I drove past him. I fucking smashed him in the face with the bomb as he was running past. I'm like, I've just hit him in the face! And I'm going fast, and I'm out, getting had in the corridor, like you said, car up the side.
Crouch walking.
Someone's come from door, bang.
So tense when you crouch walking into the base.
There's no intensity. You play a game now, and it's like,
Yeah, killed a guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's dead as well. Just how we all live.
It's just the thing about all these, like, I think it's mostly maps as well and game types, like you said. I mean, even Sidewinder on Halo 1, I used to play on LAN, right? 2v2 on Sidewinder, Magnums only, and tanks.
Yeah.
And, like, that was the most fun I had, and we played Battle Canyon, like, 4v4, and these maps, they're not, like, if you were to put your top 5 maps from any Halo together, I wouldn't have any Halo 4 maps in there.
No.
I don't think I'd have any Halo Reach ones in there. And even some of the good Halo Reach maps that we used, or even played, were like old remakes.
Yeah. One of the things I say about the Halo 4 maps is that they had certain affinity come in. And in case you guys don't know, those are the guys that make maps for a lot of games. Basically, they make maps look pretty. 343 design the maps. They come along and throw all the textures and stuff on. They also do stuff like Black Ops maps. So I almost feel like a lot of the creativity was lost with the split from Bungie, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So it's just the guys at 343 now, and they've sort of lost all their imagination in terms of map making, and they don't know how to make a classic competitive arena style map, and hopefully that'll change for the next game. And like the last thing I had on my on my little bucket list for making Halo a success. I know it's a long list. Okay, I told you to put your seatbelts on. Is remove all the random factors from the game, such as random drops. In Infinity Slayer, you can be up by 5 kills. It's like, yeah, okay, right, we're gonna win this game. Oh no, binary rifle just dropped, or incineration cannon just dropped in front of one of my enemies. Oh, that's great. He's got that now. He's got a power weapon for nothing. Oh, look, we'd lost again. That's great. So yeah, remove all the random factors and make Halo competitive. Make it a competitive squad shooter, because that's what Halo 2 was. People weren't playing it for the casual aspect, and if they were playing stuff like team training. It's not Call of Duty.
This is the biggest problem with frigging drops.
It's not. It's not a care package.
So annoying.
Okay, it's not care package. We don't get that stuff. So yeah, remove all the random factors. Make the game more competitive. This is what made people fall in love with Halo. It's what happened. That's how I fell in love with Halo, and I know most of the competitive community fell in love with Halo via the same ways. So make it competitive.
I think that deserves a round of applause, Mr. Harrick. That was hashtag Save Halo.
343. If you need my details, feel free to post a comment, or follow me on Twitter. It's
That's the Jinky.
Slinky Armour. Is that calling you? He knows Halo 5. Adam, been quite quiet on this. I'm sorry to push you out here a little bit, mate.
Sorry.
Is it what you think they should bring for Halo 5? Is there anything you think they need to look at and do properly?
Well, everyone's going to even know it. Harry pretty much takes the cake in that instance. And but there's just very simple, basic things that they've done before that they just need to do again that made the game work. One of them being ranks. Like, a good ranking system keeps everybody happy. If you put ranks in at the start of Halo 4, there would be a lot more people playing the game, and they must know it. They can't think, oh well, maybe something else went wrong. Like that's one of the biggest factors that happened, and they need a good initial like foundation, like a sandbox where the weapons all work. Like the kill times are good. They don't have to tune the game like a year later. Like they need to have these things from the start. And the other thing is like the developers need to listen to the community more before the game comes out. Like Halo said with the beta, there's a lot of things we asked. I mean, they were taking in emails. Remember, like they were like, "Oh, send in what you think the game needs or what we're looking for," and people were like, "4-person theater mode, spectator mode," like, and even they wanted Forge to be a little bit more colorful because the Halo Reach's Forge was really bland, and we put up with it for Halo 3 because it wasn't that bad, but but I mean, even in Halo 5, do you remember Heretic in Halo 3 or Midship in Halo 2?
Yes.
If they could just take those palettes, like a purple like ramp and purple bridges, and then put it in the new game, you could have a whole new color scheme and a theme, like a Covenant theme or a jungle theme, or in fact, not take that back. But like, there's a lot of things that they could do, and it makes me wonder if they're sitting there knowing their game's falling to pieces, right, falling to shreds, and they're like, how can we make this next Halo game work? They need to take everything in, and if you get like 5,000 emails saying Forge mode, like better, this and that, they should listen. And I mean, there's not a lot wrong with Halo. They're just missing some of the biggest. They're missing a lot of key things. That's it. It's not like the game needs to be scrapped, rebranded, and become Destiny, which is like what Bungie are doing. But I mean, it's not a lot. Man, I mean, some of like yours and I and whatever, our greatest memories are like playing Halo 3 or playing Halo 2, and like I can still remember games and memories and things that happened, like people lifting over man cannons and failing, and like me hitting people in a man cannon, and there's so much fun stuff. And then you think of Halo Reach, and it's just like a blur. You think of Halo 4, and you can't even like, oh, what happened to be funny in Halo 4? You can't remember because it's not that good a game. We need to make a game that brings memories, brings friendships, and makes people want to play it. It's not about just going to events; it's about playing a good game.
Do you possibly think that this is the reason for so many pre-game warriors, as in just sat waiting for scrims doing nothing else? Do you think that's the reason?
Like lobby warrior.
Yeah.
Although it's always existed, but it's not anywhere near as much as it is now. I mean, you go into Halo now, and there's more lobbies than ever. Whereas
there's more lobbies than games in matchmaking, isn't
right there? Now, I can say I only play Halo 4 to play team doubles, scrim with my team. That's it. I only play doubles and scrim with my team. I only come on when I'm running games because I don't find random fours enjoyable, because that's a completely different topic, because I don't feel like everyone's trying. That's exactly, you know, I'm really, really good. So, no, I don't have that motivation to play like I did in Halo 2 and Halo 3, because the game maybe isn't as enjoyable. Like, right now, I'm loving team doubles. No joke. That is possibly, it's the best playlist, because it's the most competitive. I try with my teammate. I try with Jack. We play a lot of doubles, and it's always competitive. Well, it's competitive for us, and we always try. We don't really get the best, the best opponents, but I'm always trying my hardest in team doubles because I don't want to lose. That's the best type of playlist. Whereas you go in Infinity Slayer, it's like, yeah, okay, I just got to stick it in ordnance. Let's use the thruster pack. Like, that's great. Oh, the game's over. Yeah. So, I only try when it's competition and it's competitive and I'm playing to win. I don't come on for random force because, what am I going to get from winning a random force game, So it's just got to be competitive.
Think about it. I want to see the day where, you remember in Halo 3, even years after it was out, you checked your friends list, every, mother other was on Halo 3. There was none of this like, well, we're in Formula 1, so we can't really talk, Harry. It's like Formula 1, like Left 4 Dead, Call of Duty, Battlefield, everyone's on a different game. And I want to see, when the game comes out, if it's really good, the people stick on it. Like, that's,
Yeah.
I tell you what,
see even people playing Halo 3 now because they still think that Halo 4 shit.
I tell you what ties in with the fact that, the game may not be the best. If there was a visible ranking system, people had a reason to play to get those 50s, so you can brag to your friends, say, "Hey, I got a 50, look, that's great."
Do you think they've lost it? Just final question then. Do you think they've lost the market to Call of Duty? And do you think it could ever recover? Or do you think people will now be looking for, like we were always looking forward to Halo 3, Halo Reach, Halo 4? Do you think people are now looking forward to Call of Duty?
I'll just quickly say this, that's it. If the market can go from Halo being the biggest game of the years, not just a single year, for multiple years, if it can go from Halo to COD, I think it can come back. That's all I'm going to say.
We have the perfect opportunity to do so with weapon balancing coming June 3rd and Call of Duty Ghost coming out. In case I'm not mistaken, Modern Warfare 3 was last made by Infinity Ward, who were making Call of Duty Ghost, and they didn't implement a LAN system link, option. So that will hurt Call of Duty, and obviously, with weapon balancing coming, we need to try and,
jump on it.
Yeah, exactly. We need to gain from Call of Duty's losses. We need to get the population back up with this increased and much more improved sandbox. In all honesty, it'll be a while before Halo 5 comes out. Hopefully, I hope it's a while, because I hope they just don't keep rushing these games out. So I think what Halo 4 needs is a map pack. 343 said, we're releasing 3 map packs for this game. They've all come out. So what now? They need to.
They need more.
They need more. They need remakes. They need a remake map pack. They need to release another trilogy of map packs where there's 3. Say the 3 best maps from Halo 1, 3 best maps from Halo 2, 3 best maps from Halo 3. Skip Halo Reach because there weren't 3 good maps in that. So, I'm not really talking big team here either. I'm talking nice small maps. Just something to keep us going until Halo 5. That can't be it. If Halo 5's coming out maybe next year, maybe another year, Halo 4 will be gone. There won't be a market for the next Halo game if they wait that long with nothing provided at all. So
true. Yeah. Yo, before we stop this, Harry and then Sims, if you could have any free maps from any Halo game and Halo 4, what would it be? And it's quick. It has to be quick.
Right. I'm going to do 1 from Halo 3 and 2 from Halo 2. The 2 from Halo 2 would be. This is so.
Lockout and midship.
Shh. I'm trying not to say the obvious ones. Okay. It's got to be Warlock.
Oh, good shout.
And because we can get Ball, well, obviously we don't use Oddball, but we could use Oddball, we could use Flag, we could use Slap. That's another 3 game types. And it's a balanced map. And the second map, I'm going to say, it's so hard to say, but I'm going to say Midship, because I know it's a bit of a cop-out, but it's the daddy, it's the daddy of all the maps on Halo 2. The one from Halo 3 would have to be Narrows.
Oh, gotta hate you.
You were going to say that, weren't you, Sims?
Oh, that's exactly what I was going to say. Just another thing there. I completely forgot about Warlock, Oh my god, I remember being sat reminiscing again. Warlock was superb. I remember I actually did on LAN, believe it or not. I did well on LAN. XL1, I did portal bash, and I were running through portals with a shotgun, and it was fun. Back when Halo was from my pen. Back when Halo was fun. Yeah, lockout and midship for me. Lockout just because it's simply. I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was one map where if you were good, and if you got library, BR2, 3, and between 1 and side ramp, if you got that, and you were good, and that was perfect, you weren't losing. No matter what, if you had the ball, you got a ball in there, mate. You ain't going nowhere, and that was the good fun about it. And the fun being even on the losing side, the fun for me was trying to break that, trying to rush it top mid, underneath bottom mid, the same time pushing library, even having someone go uplift and shoot across at library window. Trying to break that setup was fun. Midship just, I loved holding P3. I'm going to say it now, there was nothing better than sitting on P3 and just smashing people on top carbine. It was great.
Yeah.
And you stole my map. He stole my maps. Harry, I'm not happy. That Narrows was just... There's nothing... I don't know, it's hard to describe because you had 2 levels to it, didn't you, as such? The upper and lower level. I think more than out from a 4v. I mean, that's the only map where I matched as well. I think this is why. But on that map, I matched Puckett and Halo God, and the other one that commentated with him, and somebody else, and we beat them as well. That's the reason why that's my favourite map. Believe it or not, not talking crap. I actually managed to beat them on that with Mr. Old Rustic Spec and Co. But I just thought it were a brilliant map with the snipers going across. I can't give you any reasons for it as to why, really. It was just one of those maps that I enjoy playing. Adam, what about yours? Come on, we've got to wrap it up, but be quick.
Very quickly, they're all going to be Halo 3 ones, because you pretty much mentioned already the best Halo 2 ones. So I'm going to say ones you haven't said yet, apart. I'm trying to think. I'm going to say Guardian, because I can't remember another map that I played more in Halo 3 for like free-for-all, for 1v1s. Oh, you're 1v1. Yeah, you're 50 shit. Oh, 1v1 in Guardians. No camo. Like, everybody played Guardian. Everyone knows that map like the back of their hand. Everybody knew every grenade, and I just love that map, especially in 4v4. Like, I was the guy bottom green, and I'd like lift over to get camo, and you hear like the Mauler like coming out. That was me. I was that guy. I was waiting. I was waiting for you to come around that corner and just would have beat down. Other map is Amplified. Amplified was a map that I really loved, especially on LAN, and it's my first like proper memory when I went to Liverpool, and I played against AMB, which was like Ginger Viking. Who else was it? Ginger Viking.
Very racist name there.
Parker and Rebel, and I love that map, and it played so well. And the spawns were like, you spawned with like the entire fight in front of you, and you just step forward and you were in the battle. There was none of this like spawn, run around, like go up here. And the last map is, I don't think anyone said Pit yet.
Pit were brilliant because that played so well on all.
It worked really. It didn't work as much as well in Reach, but in Halo 3 with no sprint, like there was nothing better, right? Then if you went S1 and Silvershire was coming up, you'd grab sniper, you'd go on the bridge, you'd pick up OS, and then someone would die, like, oh, I've lost rockets on their training, and you pick up rockets, and you're standing there with the T-squared combo, overshot sniping rocks, and you just felt invincible until someone came up behind you and backsmatched you and made you look like a tit. But it was still like that map. Like I have so many memories, and even watching MLG and like remembering everything was just. Yeah. It's just if you can remember like set plays and games from those maps, and that's my top 3.
I don't know why I've just thought of another one from Halo 2. I think is it Ascension? With the jumps? The
rockets? With Tower of Power.
Oh my god, yeah. Tower of Power.
The amount of... It was brilliant, as well. Foundation, playing zombies. You used to lock yourself in room number 4. You had all those crates. You used to punch them. Someone would be on the lookout outside the door. You used to punch them. You'd just punch the boxes until they were in the way of the door. Oh, it was amazing. We need more maps like that.
Yeah. Halo 3, the map where it played really well on. In fact, they did it at MLG 4v4s, but it did well on 2s as well. I can't remember the name. You had top gold, and then you had S1, S2, S3. The circle in the middle. You could jump off the map, and it had all the woods and stuff around. Come on, it played ball as well. Halo 3 map.
What, in MLG?
They played it. I'm sure they played it at MLG, but it played in 2s and it played in 4s as well. They played ball on it, I think.
You sure? Are you sure you're not talking about Guardian and Halo 3?
Possibly. I can't remember. I've lost my that mate.
I don't remember anything like that on Halo 2.
Move on.
Make sure you put it down in the comments if you know what Sims is talking about.
Like. Yeah, come on. Someone needs to know what I'm on about. You had S1, S2. Yeah, you had a sniper tower. Then you had a ramp that run round. Then you had the little jump thing that jumped you across to gold. You had gold 1 and gold 2. The jump lift at what? Nah, never mind.
I can't remember, man. I'm stuck.
Right, the cams seem to have frozen, so I think we're going to call it there. Yeah, are you two still on the mic? Because cams are frozen.
Yeah, sorry.
Right. Guys, we're going to wrap it up. I want to say thank you from us all here at Back to Basics for joining us for episode 4. Tweet the link when we get it out. We're trying his own way to save Halo. If you could follow us on YouTube, that would be even better. Fantastic. I'm going to do my usual thing and just tweet every mother and the dog to try and share this video around. If you want to follow us on Twitter, our Twitter handles should be there. Usually they are. If good old Hamza in the background's on his job, Yeah, big thank you to Hamza as usual for recording all this and doing it for us and doing all the and everything. Guys, thank you very much. Me and the team. Good night.
Night.